Hi, let's deploy Microsoft 365 architecture. If you're starting your own company and want to deploy something in IT, this is where you start from. This is the architecture, and the first step would be purchasing licenses. So, the business premium license is what you would ideally want to go for. You can select any of them, but this is how you access it. Okay, so the licenses have been purchased. The next step now would be to check whether or not these licenses are valid or have they been applied to our account now. For that, you go to the Microsoft Admin Center and you check the licenses page. You can just search that on the search bar there. Yep, there it is. 25 licenses which are part of my free trial for a month. Now I'm gonna assign licenses to my test users, which is my current user, and also just a test account that I've created. There it is. I'm not gonna send an email because it's just my test account. Now we're gonna validate whether or not these licenses have given me Office 365 apps, and there it is. So I have a domain on GoDaddy, and this domain I want to integrate this domain with my Microsoft Admin Center. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a domain on this interface again on the admin interface, and this is a very simple process. Basically, you'll have to be logged in into your GoDaddy as well, because it's just going to try to connect to GoDaddy on its own, and that is my domain Kalki Travel. Yep. You gotta press connect. I'm just verifying if this user and this is actually my account that is being connected. Now to add the DNS records from your GoDaddy to your uh, Microsoft Admin Center, it will connect again. It will go through the exact same steps there. Yep, that's it. My domain has been added. It shows that it's healthy there, which means it passed all its checks and the DNS records have been added. Currently, no users are added to it. Basically, I cannot add my existing users to the new domain. I can just change their email ID. So I'll just change their email with the newly added domain. Again, I'll take the two test users that I have and I'll just edit their email ID. You gotta click manage sign in details and that's it. Just change the domain and add the username as per your preference. And we are gonna deploy some architecture on Azure in the next video. But for that we gotta also make our domain primary on Azure portal. So I'm just gonna quickly do that here. It's very simple. It's just one tick mark there. And these are the resources. You can see that these I've added those email IDs for my users. So they are two resources referenced using this domain name. Now I'm actually gonna add a user which will have everything related to kalkitravel.com. So this user is basically whenever you log in into your Outlook or your Office 365, any apps on Office 365, or even if you want to log in into your Windows 11 machine, this is the actual username and username along with the domain that you'll be using. The previous two setups will not work with the Windows 11 login, but this will. So this is how you do it. Again, you'll have to assign all the necessary licenses to this user, and make sure you add Kalki Travel as the domain for this user. For now, I'm just gonna give this user Teams administrator. In a later video, I'm also gonna secure the Office 365 portal. So for that, I will I will only provide global admin role to this user through privileged identity. This is how you do it. Um, you have to actually go to your Azure portal for this. So over here, I'm gonna select global admin, and I'll choose my newly created Kalki travel test user there. if you select active, that means this user can use the privileged role throughout uh, throughout the time, and it's always active. But if you select eligible, then the user will have to specifically go to this Azure portal's privileged identity management and then activate the role every time the user wants to use that specific role. In the later video, I'll show you how to make it an eligible assignment rather than an active assignment. The self-service password reset is currently off, which is why I'm having troubles. I'm having trouble logging in with this account. I actually forgot the password while I was doing this. Um, but I'm gonna reset the password now, and then try to log in into various systems like Windows 11 and stuff, and it will work. Then I'll have to reset the password again when I first log in. But this is just because I had actually forgotten. This is why I'm going through these steps again. So basically, I've downloaded the Outlook app on my Windows machine, and over there, I've just logged in with my credentials. And as you can see, I'm getting the emails that was sent to the Kalki Travel domain email ID, as you can see on the left side there. That is a privileged identity email as well. So you can see eligible. I'll come back to that in the later video, but that's how you get an email as well as whenever you do an eligible assignment. Now, for testing purposes, I don't have a spare laptop. So what I did was I've just used a Windows VM. Basically, I could download the Windows 11 ISO file from the official Microsoft site, um, and I'm just gonna quickly deploy it as a virtual machine on my Oracle VM VirtualBox. So you have to select Windows 11 Pro essentially, because if you select Home, only your home Windows Microsoft 365 accounts will work. But if you want an organizational deployment, then you have to go with Windows 11 Pro machine. Now this obviously takes some time for deployment, but I've skipped that part. Um, I'm just gonna select my country there, and I'm just gonna run through that setup. So now this is where I will sign in with my travel domain account, and hopefully this works. Yep, and then I just enter my password there as well. But this will be exactly like someone within your organization coming in for the first day and you providing them with a laptop with all of this installed, and they just need to enter their email ID and password to log in for the first time, and this is how you do it. You can either do a pre-setup of these things before you provide the laptop to your employees, um, and then reset and then provide the reset password option, or even this way would be good where they do all of these things themselves. So that's where I have to put the pin for my Windows 11 hello, Windows hello, and there it is, the complete setup. Optionally, you can also add Office 365 apps, and the exact same credentials will be used to log in into all of those apps to test the whether the SAML whether my credentials have been working for all Office 365 products. I'm also gonna try to log in into my Outlook and Outlook on the VM, and then as you can see, you get those exact emails that we were seeing on the Outlook before the VM was deployed. Now, signing into Office 365 apps um, is also the works in the exact same way. These apps will include all Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and everything like that. Everything which Office normally provides and is famous for. Other than that, I've also later on I'll also show you how to start using OneDrive. So by default, OneDrive is something that works with your Windows 11 machine. Um, you can use it for sharing files within your organization, or sharing it with like just few members within your organization and giving them access rights there. So I'm gonna sign in into my office onto my OneDrive, and I'll just create a sample file for testing purposes. You can select what folders you want to integrate with OneDrive, but bear in mind that these folders will be synced in with the OneDrive, which means that they they will be on cloud and not on your local machine. And if you're using it for something personal, it wouldn't be a good way to go ahead. So for me, those folders have synced in. Notice how downloads is not one of them, um, which is normally how the default OneDrive configuration works. Yeah, I'm just gonna create the a sample file here. When that tick goes green, it means that it has synced with OneDrive. Now I will take what I'll do is I'll share this file with two of my existing users. Um, See, this account is my main test account, so you are not able to see the OneDrive file here because I've created in the Kalki test account rather than the original test account. So from my Kalki account, I'm actually sharing this to my original account and one other user as well. Yep, and now they can only view the file, and it is shared. So from my original accounts, one OneDrive portal, I can actually see from my shared from the shared folder that this file was shared with me. You just have to give it a second there because it takes a minute to sink in. Yeah, there it is. Just to test the edit part as well, I'm gonna actually open the file and try to type something there, and immediately Microsoft tells us you cannot edit this file. Now I'll just try to create a SharePoint site, sample SharePoint site. Uh, Bear in mind that this creation of a site on SharePoint in this way is very primary, and I would recommend you to actually sit down and plan how your different sites should look like and how your pages within the site should look like and what access should be provided to each of those pages. But for now, I'm just gonna go with a very basic flow of how the site should be created and how access of one of the pages or one of the site can be provided to one of your users. So again, I'm in my original test account. I've just added the test Kalki user to my site. Now I'm gonna try to access the site from my virtual machine using the Kalki account. So that's a general site that everyone within your organization has access to currently. But I'm trying to go to the sample site that I've created. Within a site, you can actually create a page, um, and within the page you can upload you can add site links, pages, wiki pages, everything. The default two pages that are provided to you are collab home and home. So on the home page you can then upload your files. Now to test this, I'll actually go to my original account and access the site pages there. So you can see this file there. Now I'm going to try to enroll the devices that I've been using with my with to access all the Microsoft 365 resources. My Windows 11 running on my virtual machine is already synced in with through Intune. The Defender is already running on Windows 11. As soon as you log in with your credentials on a Windows 11 machine, knows that this is the machine that was being used. It will actually start syncing in with Intune through Intune on its own. But for syncing iPhone, for example, you will actually have to use an Apple MDM push certificate. So for this, you need to have on your Apple ID, and then you have to go through these steps. So here I've created my CSR certificate, and now I'm about to log in into my Apple ID and create a certificate there as well. Over here, you'll have to add your Apple ID, your basically your email you log in into your Apple account with. I've just downloaded the MDM certificate there as well. So when you do that, your account is ready. Like your Intune is ready to accept Apple devices. After that, you just have to download Intune on your mobile and then start enrolling. Now I'm here in this section. I'm gonna teach you how to push uh, push apps on your Windows machine, and it is that easy. You just have to select your app from your store account um, and then push it, and then select the users or the devices that you want to push it to. So I'm going to select all users and all devices. When this happens, Intune will actually push the Grammarly app on my desktop. I should not only start seeing it on my Windows 11 machine, but also I should be able to see the installation status through Intune as well. There it is. So for this, for enrolling my iPhone with the organizational Intune, I've just downloaded the Intune app, and then I go through these steps. You gotta first download your profile and then go to your VPN configuration, from where you can the VPN and device management, from where you can install the profile on your phone. See the management profile and install. So now, after it gets synced in, the app that you would have pushed through your Intune on iPhone as well, it will immediately start downloading and installing it. So as you can see, I got a notification here that I that my profile wants to install the Outlook app on my phone. Yep. So my phone has been synced in with my Kalki account as well. When I start using it, you can see that my Kalki travel account has already been synced in with my Outlook as well. So all my emails that I could see from my VM and from my Outlook on my desktop can also be seen on my Outlook on my phone as well.